Morning everybody, Nick here. I decided to do something stupid and run a half marathon in the middle of January. The good news is it's in the middle of the night. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. But the good news is it's Florida, so it should be in the 50s. What is this one called? This is just a marathon weekend race?
Yeah, Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend.
Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend. I can't see it, but this is the half marathon, a Saturday morning. It's 50 degrees. I got my coat on, a cup of coffee, and that's it. I had a lot of nerves. So I'm going to keep updating these things. Every time I either stop to walk or slow down or whatever, I'll whip my phone out and do a thing. And I'm doing this so that I know how to train for the next half marathon, because this is the first one I've done in a great many years. Everybody's walking this way. They might be driving. Okay. All right, cool. Nearly got it to ourselves.
Welcome to Colorado Green. Our next stop will be the Grand Floridian Resort. If you're standing, please hold on to the silver handrails and never let people beyond night doors. Thank you. Welcome aboard Monorail Green. Our next stop will be the Transportation Ticket Center. If you're standing, please hold on to the silver handrails and never lean against the automatic doors. Thank you.
All right, it's 4:35 and I'm making my way to the corral. I've got a nervous guts, but I think I got that taken care of. It's cold. I took my jacket off. I debated keeping my sweatpants, and I did. I hope that a half mile in, that's not a regret. We'll see. Hip check. All right, so I've been dealing with IT band. I think it's IT band pain, tightness. I have KT taped my knee and my hip. First time I've ever used KT tape, so we'll see. But right now I've got, so the outside of my hip is hurting. It's tight. That's my fear. That's my big fear, is that I'm going to lock up, not be able to run through the pain. Last week, my long run last week, it was only 8 miles. I locked up so bad, a mile from the end. It was terrible. So that's my fear, is that I won't be able to work through the pain. We'll see. I'll make sure that I get a real good stretch in before we get started. All right, so I've trained in cold weather. That's not bothering me. I'm not nervous about that. My coldest run was 15 degrees. I was dressed completely different. I had on a pair of like man tights. Right now I'm wearing sweats, swishy, heavy sweats, and they're warm. I think I probably should have ditched them. About 50 degrees and below. Oh, well, I mean, like up to about 50 degrees. A t-shirt is fine. I mean, that's beyond that. I start getting hot. So you really got to get low to want layers. And so now as I'm walking up here, I think I'm regretting these sweats. I don't want to ditch them though, because they're nice, and I don't have anything else for the rest of vacation to sleep in. Decisions. Let's stop for a second. 0.62 miles, and I'm still walking to the start line. There's Corral. See that balloon? Oh, it's a gigantic group of people. There's so many more than yesterday's 10K. I don't see where B starts. I don't even begin to see. Oh, okay, so somewhere in the middle there, because that's got to be that Jumbotron. I think that's the start line. Maybe not. Wow, it's a massive group of people. Oh, Never mind, that's the end, because now I'm reading this sign right there. Shoo! There's a balloon in the trees, so maybe that's B. Oh, that's Delta. Charlie. F? I don't know. I'm all confused right now. Good morning. I'm really glad this grass isn't wet. That'd be a great way to start things.
Point. The point is,
I had to
The
ditch
point
the
is
sweats.
you get to wake up only one more time at ridiculous hours.
that's absolutely true. You have less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go. And again, I'm going to end. 3, 2, 1, go! Weston Galloway, we will see you at the finish line. We love you, Weston.
All right, I'm out. I'll be back. Well, I just passed the 3-mile mark. I feel great. 10 minutes per mile per take. Don't need to stop, but I stopped every 3 in training, so it's gel time. I'm back at it. That one.
Course narrows ahead. Caution. Course narrows ahead. Caution.
Stay
Course
smiling.
narrows ahead. Caution. Course narrows ahead.
Oh. Okay, mile 7. Last mile was a 9:30, but before that was 12 and a half or something like that. I stopped for 2 pictures through Magic Kingdom, but I'm an idiot and I blew right through the photo pass at the castle. The revering people to the left for the photo pass. I went right. This is more people went right. So that's what's up. There's a princess up here. Oh, I'm gonna bypass so it's Bell. Oh, but I am gonna eat my 3rd gel. So we'll check in mile 10, I guess. Cheers. Always gonna stop at Pet Best Boy. All right, I'm done with mile 10. That was a little bit of the way back. And I just conquered death. If you've done the half, I guess this is a recurring thing. It's the on-ramp, so we went up the hill. So I'm done with that. I missed my 10-mile feeding. So at mile 8, they hooked us up with some sport beans. So I'm gonna hit them. And then my drugs, I'm doping with ibuprofen because I'm gonna be sore at the end. All right, my left ankle is a little bit tight and my left shoe is a little bit rubby on the inside, but my right hip and knee, which I was afraid of the most, are doing pretty well. I'm at whatever, like I said, 10 miles. So I've got a 5K left. I'm gonna eat this stuff, turn the camera off, and bust it down. I'm at like 10 minute, 18 second average right now. So I'm gonna shut up and feed my face and continue with a good average. See you guys at the end. All right, all done. It disappeared off my watch. I have to find it. That was the farthest I've ever run. Maybe. It's not the longest I've ever run time-wise though, so that's good. I think I averaged at 10 something. I'm not sure. It's dead. Speaking of dead, 11.4 miles in, my shocks quit working. So So no music. So the last mile and 3/4 music, not completely musical, because they're playing music around, but it wasn't my music.
Great job, everyone. Congratulations.
I don't remember what point. Sometime started chafing in the crotchal region. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's something that hadn't happened yet. So that's probably the worst injury, though. Honestly, my right ankle is sore, not tight. I'm not rubbing in my left ankle. Left foot, it's not rubbing anymore, and I'm sore obviously because I just ran. But my right IT band situation seems to be in pretty good shape. So that's it. I'm gonna collect my swag, and I'll debrief when I stop moving. Hey, good morning, guys. Today is marathon race morning. Obviously, I'm not marathoning, or I would be out there. You can hear the cheering and the jeering from here. We're at the Polynesian. Right across the way is Magic Kingdom, and so that honking, that's the monorail. That's so cool. You can hear boats. You can hear people hollering. There's a boat. There you go. It's awesome. So they're getting cheered on. It's really cool. So obviously I forgot to film my aftermath video yesterday. I got through the crowd, got my medal. You saw that, and then I got excited, tried to find my wife, and so there we go. So I just wanted to give the review portion of it now. Sunday morning. I'm feeling pretty good. My legs are stiff, obviously. Feet are swollen, but otherwise I feel pretty good. So starting at the beginning, the mile plus walk to the start line was discouraging, and we took the monorail from here to right in front of Epcot, obviously. So they start every race at the same place, give or take, which is close to Epcot. So from there, from where we got dumped off the monorail to the back of whatever that area is where I started was a mile walk, and I think that, I don't know how you deal with that, but I didn't know that going in. And I think if you had started the race if you start the race not knowing that there's a walk involved before you can even start, it's kind of, I don't know. People who parked further away had a longer walk. So if you've got a 13-mile run, but you have to start it with a 2-mile walk, just understand that that's the way things are, and then you won't be so discouraged by it. The run was well put together. The mile markers, I hate saying it because everybody always says it. If I had $1 for every race I was at where somebody said, oh, the mile markers were off, we actually ran farther, I'd be rich. But it seemed like at the beginning the mile markers were right on my GPS, and as we got further down the race, my GPS started telling me the mile before we got to the marker. Whatever, you run the race, that's just a thing. But people get excited about that, so there's that. The character stops were inconsistent in length. So were the photos. Not the photo pass where you get your character, obviously, but the little guys in the booth. So right off the bat was somebody I skipped. Immediately after was Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, and I didn't even know it was Sally because the line was so long. I just blew past, like, oh man, that would have been a good one to stop at. And not far after her was Jack, which would have been another great one to stop at, but again, the line was really long, so I skipped them. And then I don't remember any characters. Surely there were some. Whatever. I'm not the Disney kid that my wife is, so I didn't have the interest in stopping at most of them. Get through the castle. Main Street was cool. The Astro Orbiter was Astro Orbiter-ing when I ran underneath it. That was really cool. I liked seeing that. People on Main Street were cheering, hooping it up, and which where I met Andrea. I got a kiss and kept moving. Couple characters to take your pictures with. Buzz was there. Buzz was at Magic Kingdom, so was Pluto with the chipmunks. And then you heard about my castle debacle. That was the most exhilarating of all my running, was through Magic Kingdom. So my time doesn't reflect it because I spent a few minutes sitting in line for Buzz and for Pluto, but I felt the most energized running through there. and maybe that was a detriment because that's when I blew past the castle, but that was the most exhilarating of running. And then not long after that was the halfway point, and then it kept going. I mean, it seemed like from the halfway point-ish to the end, well, there were fewer characters, but you're just running along a highway, basically. So that's as exciting as a highway run is. And I didn't train for running long distances in a straight line. My neighborhood is small, so I just ran curly cues down the sidewalk. A couple places along the path were dark, like pitch dark. So you won't see them in film because I didn't bother to take film of them, but a lot of it was plenty well lit, and some of it was really dark. Not much, just a couple places. So that could have been a little bit better. We saw death. Somewhere around there was also when my headphones cut out. Then a couple places we ran backlot area. Didn't take any film of that. We were running along Epcot where the walls are, Walcott. And there was one point where I remember hugging the wall thinking if there's somebody along this wall that is stopped or moving slow, I'm going to plow right into him. And I didn't. That's my fault. That's not the race coordinator's fault. That was totally me. And then there was the finish line, and that was it. It was a really fun race, and I did a lot better than I was expecting to. I was in Corral B, and Corral B seemed pretty empty. I'm guessing Corral A was probably even more empty. I bet because they've got, A and B are the people who are serious runners, right? And then C, D, E, and I think there was up to F. Those are the ones that are out there having fun. They don't care as much about their time as. I'm trying not to sound like I'm an exclusionist or whatever, but I bet you A Corral was less people than even B, and it seemed like there was more people spread out. And I know when Andrea did the 10K the day before, she talked about how they were letting corrals go in segments. So C corral, where she was like segment A, segment B, and then she was at the back. But I don't recall that being the case with my B corral. I know they let people off in segments. There was A, and there might have been 2 or 3 A's that, because I know that the announcers counted back 3, 2, 1, go more than once. But I don't know how that broke down. It couldn't see, and there was a lot going on. So there's that. But I think B was let out all at once. There was a crowd at the beginning, obviously, and then I passed people through the whole race. Not that I'm the fastest runner. Like you guys saw, I'm about a 10-minute, 20-second pace. It just shows that there's striations in everybody. And people stop and see characters, and they move on, and then they run faster, and then they slow down, and so whatever. But there was never such a choke point that I had to stop and walk. I only stopped and walked when I wanted to because I needed to hydrate or get fuel. Water stops were plenty. I think there were 8. Maybe something like that, 8 or 9. I hit every single one of those. And then there were aid stations, and that was just like gallon jug pumpers of biofreeze. I mean, they had medics there, but that was mostly what people were stopping to do, was biofreeze their body parts, which I did not have to do. One fuel, them sport beans, and that was it for that. Coordination, course. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. It was a great time. It was really fun, and I can't wait to come back next year and do it again. Maybe even dopey. I don't know. That's a lot of running. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful to you if you're thinking about running this in the future. And if nothing else, I hope you're entertained. So I'm going to sign off, get a shower, and go into the kingdom. See you guys.